have the other ones available in there.
Wait.
But
What? So, Luke, what are you drinking today? Coca-Cola.
Morning on the way to the gym and set my ukulele on top of the car and then drove off down the road.
That's going to be the bow after that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Look at that.
I learned my lesson from last night. What a welcome, thank you. I drink the most fruity drinks imaginable.
It's laundry day.
it's laundry day.
So you always wear hats with laundry day?
I'm here to give you a favor, James. I just say no later.
So how did you two meet?
Well, there's these places in San Francisco. I think they're called bathhouses.
It's like one of those things where everyone wants to focus on like the big events that happen, but day to day, what we're doing is we're on like some of our draw streams, smoking weed, making comics. It's chill. It's so much fun, and like
Yes. Oh, man, I'm not a YouTuber. I do this because I want to sell comic books. What a fantastic book. Holy shit. Eh? Oh, you guys. Oh, hi there. I didn't see you there. I was so caught up in this comic book, in this wonderful, this wonderful book. Wow, guys, this is Perfect 10 issue 6. It's a book that I make, that I write. So this is why I find it terrific. So yes, guys, I got notification from Critical Blast. They are printing the Perfection Collection, which is the collected edition of this series. It collects all 6 issues in one massive book, and Critical Blast will be publishing it and distributing it. They gave me a notification that they are expecting to get it printed in 2 weeks, so 2 weeks from now. So if you have backed the campaign, you will get it after 2 weeks alongside this book. If you also ordered this one, but it is printed, you can see it here. But the trade paperback, we're still waiting for that, right? The process took a bit longer than I expected. It's my first trade paperback. I'm so excited. So yeah. All right. That was my my little update. I don't have many updates besides that I've been rewriting the last segment of Safeguard, which is a book we're working on right now with Alan Goldman, the legendary Alan Goldman, guys. I wanted to change the ending before Alan got there with the pencils, and he is there right now. So he has 5 more pages to draw, and then the book is fully penciled, right? So yes, so that's going on. Guys. Always work, always something to do. All right, let's see who is with us in the chat today. Let's see. It's Pops. Welcome, Pops. Guys, we are broadcasting through the Madness Entertainment Group thanks to Pops right here, because this is StreamYard. I can't afford StreamYard on my own, but thanks to Pops, we can do it, right? So we have all like a professional thing going on here. Thank you so much, Pops. And Lori Calcaterra, hey, nice to see you. Check out issue 8 campaign here, the issue 8 for the Path of the Pill Rider. All right, go check that out, guys. Path of the Pill Rider. Excellent. The Will Studios. Hello, Will. How are you today, man? How you feeling, player? Well, I'm feeling fine. I'm feeling mighty fine. And I liked that replica drawing you made, man, that I saw yesterday on your live stream. That's really cool. That was cool. Thank you. Eastlyn, hey, long time no see. Welcome, Eastlyn. How are you doing? Hello, and welcome, Mike. Good, ideally, warmer Sunday, and cheers, Dave, and all. Nice improv. And yes, Perfection Collection is nearer. Yes, nearer. I'm sorry that it took so much time, guys, but it'll be worth it, right? It's phenomenal. It's fantastic series, fantastic collection. Thank you all for the patience, for the support, And welcome 58 Underground. Happy Sunday, Dave and Chats. Thank you so much. Thank you. Glad to have you, Dave. Oh, thank you so much, Pops. Thank you. All right, guys. It is time to bring up the guest of today. So we have a brand new guest to this show, never been on the show before, so I can introduce you to new people and new people to you, right? All right, let's do this. Do we have everything set up? I always need to check. I do, guys, because I need a warm welcome for the guest of the hour, Mr. Tom Hutchison. Tom Hutchison, yeah.
Standing. Well, they weren't standing, but it was an ovation. I'll take it.
Yes.
I'll take it.
Yes, that was. Sorry about that. Welcome, Tom.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Yeah, welcome, man. Welcome, Tom. Says Mike. There you go, Tom. Wow, Tom. Before we talk about anything,
Yes.
I need to ask you the first official question.
Okay.
What are you drinking?
The blood of my enemies in a Kylo Ren cup. As always, everybody knows that is my beverage of choice.
All right, the blood of your enemies. Right. Yeah. But, so you have many enemies?
Not anymore. Not anymore. Once you're drinking their blood,
Yes.
there's not much else going on out there at that point.
Exactly. Oh, ticker. Thank you, Mike. Mike reminding me of the ticker because I made a ticker for today.
Oh, great.
There we go. Episode 224. That's crazy. Tom Hutchison, Big Dog Inc.
Yes.
All right. There we go. All correct.
Looks good to me.
Approved. All right, sir. Thank you for the reminder, Mike. Tom, first off, how are you today?
I'm good.
Excellent. I've seen you around like for years.
Yes.
Within this indie space, right? So you're a very busy creator, right?
I mean, to be honest, I've been busier, but just from the adjustment of the world that we live in, now that 90% of indie books go through Kickstarter and so on, that slows the process down because you can only do so many Kickstarters, regardless of how much you want to write. You can still only do so many Kickstarters. So whereas I used to produce anywhere from 2 to 5 issues a month when we were going through Diamond back in the early days.
What?
Now we're doing a Kickstarter quarterly, So while it within the current sphere, it looks like there's a lot going on, it really is almost half speed from what we used to do.
Wow.
Which is plus and minus to that.
Wow. So forgive me for not knowing, right? But how did it start for you then? So how did you produce so many books in the beginning?
I was a lunatic and I thought I could conquer the world. And so it started with Critter. It was making comics was just going to be what I did on the side. It was like, okay, let me see if I can make a comic book. And I had my 9-to-5 job, and okay, we'll go to the cons on the weekend and just have fun with it and whatever. And as I started to get kind of deeper into that, this was back in like 2009. So when the housing bubble burst and all the nonsense started happening in 2009, 2010, I got let off of the job that I had. And so I was like, well, okay, before I go run to Walmart and try and find a job or something, let me see. Of course, again, like I said, lunatic, right? Hey, here's a time when people are really struggling with their lives and their bills, but let me make comics so that they can buy them, right? Like none of it made sense. But that's where my brain was like, okay, I've done enough sort of foundational work. Let me see if I can actually make comics and make this work. And so Critter was the first book that I was producing. It was moving slowly because I didn't have deadlines. I didn't have like, we need this by then. It was just do it whenever, man. But because it was going slowly, that's where Penny for Your Soul came in. Because I was like, well, if I'm waiting on this, I can work on something else while I'm waiting on that. And so I suddenly had 2 books going kind of at the same time. And that's when I lost my job. And that's when I was like, okay, we need to see if there's anything here. So about a year later, we had Penny for Your Soul in stores in 2010, and it sold out immediately. I was like, well, what just happened? We went to a second printing. We released Critter later that year in the summertime. Critter sold really well. It wasn't like the sellout like Penny was, but it sold really well. And I was kind of like, all right, I feel like there's something here. So I just kept going. Like, I'm just going to keep doing. I'm going to write. We're going to keep doing this. We had our schedule of putting the books out. And then in our second year in 2011, at the end of 2011, we launched The Legend of Oz, The Wicked West. So at the end of 2011, we had 3 series running. This was a monumental hit for us. This changed everything for us. Our Western reimagining of Dorothy Gale and The Wizard of Oz. This changed everything for Big Dog Inc.
That was your biggest success by then.
That was at the time. And it still has sort of maintained a level above everything else, even though later we did a book called Scheherazade, which outsold The Wicked West. Over time, if you're looking at sales for all these books over time, Oz is still our best overall seller. But it changed everything for us, and it told me that I was doing something right. I look back on what I do and I'm like, whenever somebody new is like, oh, I want to read like your books, I'm like, don't start at the beginning, start at volume 5 or something. Cause I know that it's weaker at the beginning because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was going by the seat of my pants, just writing script and trying to figure all this out and learning how to make a comic book while I was making comics. And so I can look back at Critter Volume 1 and look at like Volume 6 that we're on now. And I'm like, it's so much better over here. But I know that, you have this story and this thread. And I think that that's one of the best parts though, is now that I have all of this work, particularly these long running series, people really can come in at the beginning and watch where we were, myself as a writer, the artist, and watch it all grow over all this time. You can watch the series grow, the characters grow. You can watch the writing get better, the art get better. So it's a really interesting sort of time capsule of like, where were we? Where are we? Watch how it happened. And I think I think it's something honestly that the fans really kind of enjoy, because right now Critter is being reprinted by Antarctic Press. So it's on its 3rd printing. Like I printed it back in 2010, 11, 12. We went over to Aspen Comics in 2015. They reprinted the series. It sold just as well as it did as a second printing as it did the first time. So I was like, how did that happen? So in other words, the numbers were
new audience,
completely new audience.
Yes.
So they responded to it, and now Antarctic Press is doing the same thing again about roughly 8 or 9 years later, and it's again selling at really good numbers for indie books. But the fact that it's a 3rd printing and it's still selling, it's like, oh my god, like this is crazy. What the possibilities are just putting it in front of new eyeballs, even just 5 years at a time. First 5 years, second 5 years, third 5 years, you're hitting like new audiences like every single time. Plus going through different companies is going to help you do that too. But and so that's just told me like I'm doing something right. Like I'm not going to sit here and tell you like I'm the next Alan Moore. Of course not. But something's working within what we do because people respond to it when they get a chance to read it.
Yes. Did you also create things that you thought would be like would catch on that never caught on? Because you often can't really predict what people like, right?
You can't. No, you can't. Everything that I've decided to produce, I have produced. There are a couple of books that were done. In fact, they were our first 2 ever Kickstarter books. They were done to kind of test Kickstarter, see how it worked and what would be the result. And that was Lights, Camera, Jungle that I did with Jen Broomall. And the second one was Kaiju Epic, which I did with my editor, Carrie Castor. So those were our first 2 sort of attempts to try out Kickstarter. And that was like, 10 years ago. And we haven't come back to those 2 books yet, but not because we don't want to. It's just because we have so much else happening. And it's like, because we have so many books, it's like every couple of years, it's like we hit these milestones. So like in 2020, it was our 10-year anniversary, which means Big Dog Inc. 10-year anniversary, Critter and Penny 10-year anniversary. The following year would be the 10-year anniversary for Oz. The following year would be the 10-year anniversary for Ursa Minor. So it was kind of like those books kind of got stopped through the necessity of celebration of these books that have existed for a while. And so I've talked to Carrie and Jen Broomall about like, let's do more of these. We want to get back to this. But it's all just timing and where to put it and how to include it when you have all these other projects that are happening at the same time. But we do get people asking all the time, when's Kaiju Epic #2 coming?
Yeah.
I'm like, I know, trust me, I know, I want to get there, but
Yes.
I have so much to do with all these other things that they're just, it's not that they were unsuccessful, far from it. It's just that they were side projects, meant to be side projects, and they just haven't gotten back onto a front burner yet.
I know the problem. Yeah. You have so much time and so much resource. You have to pick, right?
Yes.
What's the next
And
project
sometimes-
going to be?
Yeah, and some, like I said, for us, I felt like it was being dictated. You know, we want to celebrate 10 years of a book. We want to celebrate 15 years of a book. In 2030, it'll be our 20-year anniversary. Oh my God, that's 4 years away right
That's
now.
crazy, man.
It's crazy. So for me, the trick is how do I find a way to move a little faster with some of this product and projects? How do you use Kickstarter in a way that isn't sort of normal? Like, here's a book, it's 4 weeks long, and then it's 2 weeks before we're paid, and then and it just takes too long. So for me, I've already shrunken down our campaigns. I don't do anything more than 3 weeks. That's the max I will ever do, unless I need some crazy big number. Like when we did the Critter action figures, I did a whole month because we needed a very, very big number. And I wanted to make sure that we had the chance to get that number, which we did. We produced the action figure. But now for books, it's like 3 weeks. I want to do 3 weeks. I want to get in. I want to shave it down to 2. I want to get in. I want to get out. I want to get on to the next project. Because if we start taking 4 months down to 2 months, that means we can do more product throughout the year, be it through Kickstarter or just producing it in general. Wow.
That's fascinating, man. Eastland says, never know until you try.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how you started, right?
Yep.
Mike says, Xenozoic Tales oversized collection in your background, Tom. Very nice, great influence.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Mark Schultz and Xenozoic Tales. Whew, that's prime stuff.
Cool, man. Welcome, Trish Bankston.
Trish.
Welcome. And welcome, Kevin Davis.
Mm-hmm. Kevin, I've been on Kevin's show too.
Oh, cool. Yeah, and nice to see you, Mike James Bankston.
Yep.
Hello. And Darius Artist. Welcome, sir. Is there a big difference between writing what you like versus writing what your audience likes?
Oh, I don't write.
There you go.
I don't write for my audience. Okay. I know that might sound really weird, but I don't write for my audience. I mean, I feel like if you're writing for an audience, like specifically for an audience, then it's just pandering for the audience. You're just you may be giving them what they want to some degree, but that to me is not necessarily the right story. To me, the story is what I want to make the characters do, experience, discover, whatever it is. And in that regard, you should be able to give the audience, the readers, an experience that maybe they're not expecting. Because if they're expecting it and you give it to them, it's like, I got what I expected. All right. But if they're involved and they're engaged in the book and they're like, oh my God, that cliffhanger, I don't know what's happening with this cliffhanger. Where's it going to go? That's the excitement part. You gotta drop them into places that they're not expecting. And then kind of, take it from there.
Indeed. Good question. Thank you so much. Trish says one of Tom's stalkers.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Trish and Mike have been around for a while. Yeah.
Mike says, does it sound weird? Sounds like what more and more veteran pro artists choose to do later on. I did my first books with the audience in mind.
Mhm.
I specifically wrote because these were my first comics, and I wanted desperately for people to like it. So for things to sell. So I thought,
Sure.
what would they like, right? And during issue 3, I kind of let that go, and the books became better also.
Sure.
Because of that,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I started to write what I wanted to write. It came from me instead of me thinking what other people wanted, right? So I completely recognized what you just explained.
I think that there's a way to tap the vein of a genre. Like, let's just say zombies, right? If you're like, well, I want to write zombies because there's an audience for it. Okay, great. I think there's a way to tap the vein of like, okay, the audience of zombies likes these things. And you can say, okay, I understand these things. Let me tell a story that runs into those things, but it's still my story. It's still my characters. It's still but you have the necessary tropes to appease the fans, but it's a new dynamic that you're bringing into the genre. So I think there's ways to, kind of balance all of that.
Yeah. You have to respect the tropes. The tropes basically define the genre, right? So you can't move too far away from that.
And once you understand them, once you understand the rules, then you know how you're able to break them too.
Yes.
But you got to understand the rules before you can break them.
Yeah. So did you ever, like you said, some of your works are now in the 3rd printing, right? And looking back, you said some of your earlier work, you weren't that like
I'm like George Lucas, right? I can look back and go, we can fix that. And I'm like, no, just leave it. Just let it be.
You never, that was my question. Do you ever feel the urge to change dialogue or move pages around or whatever?
The only thing that we did is when we did Penny for Your Soul for the 10-year anniversary, we did a completely remastered edition of the book, the collected edition. And because that was the first book I ever wrote, I didn't have an editor. Like it was a mess of an original release, right? And so when I was looking back at the original pages to be like, oh, okay, let me see what we need to clean up here or there. And I was reading the books again because I hadn't really read them in a while. I was like, oh my God. So what we did is we went back to the original colors, the original color pages, and I had the entire book re-lettered. Not that Oren did a bad job lettering, like the lettering itself was fine, but because there were like grammatical errors and just editorial problems in it, I was like, scrap it. I'm going to have somebody re-letter this entire book. And, so I rewrote some of it just to be better. I didn't rewrite the story, but I rewrote just some of the dialogue. So it was less clunky, a little more clear. Ran it through my editor this time to be like, okay, let's really clean this up. And so in the end, we got this really, really nice, much better presentation of this book. And so in that regard, we did that. But again, it wasn't like we were going back in and changing the story or like, I need him to say a different thing here. Like, nope, it's just better dialogue.
Right. Yes.
So it's the same experience if you had read it the first time. It's just a better experience, I think.
Right. Yes. Islin says, I still say this, independent comic creators are paving a road for movies being made in this way. Okay. Yeah. Mike says, Mike Barron asked Pat Broderick what he wanted to draw, and they're on their 2nd volume of Bronze Star, a supernatural Western set in Canada. Yes. That's what I do also when I approach artists that I like, that I follow. Hey, would you like to do a project with me, perhaps? And when they say yes, I ask them, what kind of thing do you like? Because I have so many concepts, I can basically pick and choose what kind of fits with their preferences, right?
Yeah.
He says, exactly, no wanted Star Wars until it was out, and then it created a genre. Yes.
It's true.
Absolutely true.
That's true.
The indie creators fans through YouTube primarily have been the only ones doing right by Star Wars on screen over the past 15 years. There's other says zombie stories are not about the zombies. They're commentary about modern phenomena and issues. Question.
They can be. I mean, there's a lot of people that talk about that genre, you know, using it to talk about capitalism and this and the other thing. They can be 100%. Other times it's just survive the zombies, man. That's, you know, there's so much zombie content as an example that not all of it has any sort of deeper meaning, you know. For me, the zombie book that I write, Princesses versus Zombies, Princess versus Zombies kind of surprised me because as I was writing it, I didn't really have, how do I explain this? I had an idea. I had a general, like, Princess versus Zombies. Like, we can do this.
It was the title you came up with?
Yes.
That's where it started?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Just out of the blue. Because people would ask me, because I'm not really a zombie guy. I don't really like a lot of zombie stuff. There are some exceptions. But people at cons would be like, okay, well, if you did a zombie thing, like, what would be your way of doing a zombie thing that would interest you? And I said, it would have to be something just like completely outside the normal box, like Princesses versus Zombies. Like, and then that just stuck with me. We were at a con, we were at Baltimore Comic-Con, and we went to Hooters that night with one of my artists and a couple of our fans. And Jesse Wichman was there. He's one of my artists. We talked about it again. It came up at dinner. And then after the con was over, about a month later, I was like, do you remember that thing we talked about? He was like, yeah. I was like, what if you designed a princess in a zombie setting and we just made an art print and we took it to a convention? We were going to go to C2E2. We were both going to be there. I was like, let's just have an art print for C2E2. Let's just put the print out. That's all we're going to do. And he was like, yeah, I can do that. So he designed Cindy, who's our Cinderella character. He designed Cindy, gave her a nice little car and you know, the sexy princess costume and stuff, zombies crawling around. We put the print out on the table, and it was an immediate, like, visceral reaction from the fans. They were like, oh my God, what is that? Where is the book? I'm like, there's no book. There's that picture. That is the only thing that exists is that picture. And they were like, well, when does the book come out? I'm like, there is no book. Is that picture. But it ran over really well. So I said, okay, look, we're both going to be at Philadelphia. Let's do this again. And so he did Mrs. White, our Snow White character. Same thing. Gave her the new princess costume, zombies, gave her a station wagon. She's like a hockey mom. And because I had to design the characters in personality to let him figure out what it looked like visually. So while we weren't writing a story, we were saying this character is this character is this character is this. So we did the same thing. We dropped Mrs. White on Philadelphia, and it was the same thing. Where's the book? Where's the book? I need the book. I'm like, nope, there are 2 prints, and that's all there is. So we generated this crazy buzz just around these art prints. We dropped it one more at one of the other cons for Bella Rose. And then I was like, I guess this is real. So then that year, so from March and then in October, so whatever that is, 6-7 months, from March, we dropped the first print. In October, we did a 69-hour Kickstarter campaign for a 0 issue of the book.
Mm-hmm. Oh, look at that.
Which is going to be somewhere here. I might not have the 0, but here's the issue number 1. So we did this is issue number 1, but we did an issue number 0 just to test market it. It was just an 8-page story. And it went crazy. It went crazy. And I was like, oh my God, now I have to make this book. So then from there till April of the next year, that's when we did this campaign. And this campaign started right as COVID was going insane. And people were like, you can't launch this during COVID. I was like, watch me do it. And this was our biggest campaign of all time, was this book. So
oh really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And so it just became a thing. But then again, this is where the whole story kind of comes back together, because we're talking about like, what's it about?
Mhm.
I didn't know what this was about when I started.
Yes.
But as I have gotten out, we've done 4 issues of this now. And as I've gotten through it, and as I now have Hollywood knocking on the door for it.
Oh, really?
And they're asking me, like, what is it about? And I'm like, well, it's Princesses versus Zombies. Like, that's what it's about. They're like, no, but what's it about? And so they started to make me think about, like, yeah, what's it about? And as I started to read the book, and I back again, and I started to take notes, and I started to, put these pitch decks together, that they call them, things like that. I started to realize what it was about. And then when my mom passed last year, all of the pieces fell into place. It's about my mom. And because it's Mrs. White, and she has a doofus of a son, which is me. It's me. I didn't write him that way, but it's me. As I look back on it, I'm like, that's me and my mom right there. And so as I started to think about what this was about, it's the Princesses versus Zombies is about the mother's love for her children, for her community, for her environment. It's a mother's story within the zombie apocalypse. And that was not intended. But as I read it back, I saw everything that I was writing, like subliminally, subconsciously. But it's all there. And then when I had to write that for a movie producer, like, oh my God, this is what it is. And this is something that I haven't really seen within the context of like a zombie film. So I have a feeling that little sort of hook might get us over the hump and get us further down the line. I mean, who knows what'll ever happen with Hollywood, but it was a very interesting journey to kind of figure out, like, I never saw it, but it was there all the whole time.
Wow. Exciting, man. That's really cool. So how did Hollywood discover you? How did that start?
Just through Comic Cons, basically, because we would do 20 plus shows a year. So, San Diego Comic Con, New York Comic Con. I mean, we were everywhere. And so, producers and assistants to producers and they just roam around these cons all the time, and they're just looking for stuff like, wow, what's this?
Oh.
We almost had The Legend of Oz sold as a TV show about 10 years ago. It was like we were almost about to sign a contract, and it fell apart at the last end. So Hollywood's been sniffing around us for a long time, but Princess versus Zombies, I have 2 producers who are interested in it. But I also have people that I know. Like, I know directors, I know costume people, and so on. And I'm like, maybe we just do this ourselves. Like, I don't know that I want to like hand it over to somebody and be like, and then they're just like, okay, go away. So I've talked to these people that I know, and they're interested. They're like, yeah, we can talk about figuring out what this means, but who knows? But Hollywood's always poking around, guys. Be aware.
Yeah.
Just be aware of who you're talking to. You might never know who you're talking to, but if you treat somebody right and they get the right information at a con or whatever, or if they see you on a podcast like this, you might get an email from somebody and go, so I met you at this con, and I work for Steven Spielberg, and we want to make this thing. I'm like, whoa, okay. No, it was not Steven Spielberg. I'm just using that as an example. But that's basically how it happened. Is people just kind of were like, hey, I got this. I saw you. I met you. Took the book home. I like it. We're interested. No one's dropped a check in my lap yet, but they're interested.
That must feel great. Yes. But you have to assume nowadays with modern Hollywood that basically things will get altered, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
Now with Princess versus Zombies, it's like there's not much to alter. I mean, it is a very straightforward thing, and then you layer on the idea of it's this mother who's protecting everybody. Right. So there's not really a lot to change. Yes. And I think what it is why it works. It's a very like visceral thing. Like, you're reading it, you understand everything. All the characters are hyper different from each other. I think that's the other great part of it. Mrs. White and Cindy are polar opposites. Pocahontas is completely different. Bella Rose is blind. I've never seen a blind person in a zombie show. So I was like, I'm going to make her blind. Hold on one second, because my computer's about to die.
Oh yeah, sure. All right. Then I will go to the chat. Ethan says, like Doctor Who monsters, Cybermen and Daleks. It is horrifying because these are humans with extra bits sliced off, and Daleks are humans evolved to survive and fight a war. Yes. Raven Gregory, he says, Seagal.
Raven. Mr. Raven.
Station wagon, Great Zombie World car, also Hearst. Is the station wagon a wagon queen station truckster? Ask Mike.
No, it is. It is. Although it is not unsimilar from that. But basically, like I said, so with Mrs. White, you have to have the shtick, right? So if Snow White had the 7 dwarves, our Mrs. White became a hockey mom, and so in the book, she has to go collect her kids from being eaten by the zombies, and she ends up with 7 kids that are stuck at a hockey rink. She piles them all into the wagon, so we have our Snow White and the 7 dwarves, but it's Mrs. White and the 7 hockey kids.
That's fantastic. Trish says, hubby loves Tom's comic for the story. Thanks to all Tom's artists, I am on the last 5 copies of number 1. All right. The owner of a hearse as personal car used to live down the street from me in another town. I just had visions of remodeling it as a Ghostbusters ride. John Westhoff, nice to see you. Darius Artist says, get the Walking Dead treatment rather than the World War Z. Welcome, Marinus from Cosmonaut Comics. Welcome, sir. Guys, go subscribe to Cosmonaut Comics YouTube channel for daily comic book reviews. Right. That's really, really cool. Yeah, I don't really. Some people say your story needs a theme, like, and this is something I never concern myself with. I just write whatever, and eventually you will find it has a theme.
You'll find it. Yeah. That's right. That's everything that I do really was that. Princess versus Zombies is a perfect example. The only exception actually is Kaiju Epic. Kaiju Epic was designed to be a 5-issue series that went through the 5 stages of grief. So my editor, Carrie Castor, who wrote half of the book, she was really interested in that too. But we took the 5 stages, modified them a little bit, because it wasn't just a matter of like, somebody died, and so we're going through the stages of grief. We're going through the stages of grief as the entire planet is falling apart, as the monsters are rising and destroying it. And what are your decisions that are either helping or hurting that sort of realm? So it was kind of cool, and I do want to finish that 5-issue sort of block of taking us through the end of the world, using the stages of grief as our kind of foundation. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. One sec, I am preparing things for later. But right now I could talk about this with you forever, man. This is fascinating stuff. But we need to take a look at your website. You have your own web store.
Sure, yeah.
Big Dog Inc.
Yeah, it's very old school, guys. It's very WordPress back in the day. Old.
Well, it's there,
but it does the job.
Yeah, as long as people can find it, right? So let me put it in the chat, guys. Big Dog Inc. So you can find whatever we will be talking about.
Yeah.
There we go. It's in the chat right now, but it's also below the video, guys. So if you're watching from the replay or whatever, go find it below.
Yeah.
Right.
Whenever you're ready. If you need Princesses versus Zombies, it's on there.
Excellent. Yeah, man. So this is basically your entire catalog. Every book you make.
Everything that we do, like if you click on the comics button, it should break out so that you get all of the individuals.
Where's the comics button? Wait.
The one with the girl on, the red girl.
Oh, here, yes,
right there. It should break it out into all the different titles that we do, so you can go into each title individually. And if you just want Critter, you'll just find Critter. If you just want Princesses versus Zombies, we got that. Yeah.
You know, the thing sometimes is with indie comics is that you see it and it looks indie,
Mhm.
right? You don't have that. You work with magnificent talents, and so how do you meet these people at conventions? How do you network? What's your strategy to get all these magnificent talents to work with you?
Back in the day, we started with a website called Digital Webbing, and Digital Webbing it was basically like old forums. You know, people would post stuff, talk about it, like Reddit. What Reddit is now is what message boards and forums used to be back in the day. And but what Digital Webbing had was also a classifieds section where you could post like, I need an artist, I need a colorist, whatever. And so that's where we started. I would post ads in there, and people would respond, and I'd be like, well, I'm doing superheroes, I'm doing whatever. And they would send me their stuff, and they would often do like some samples, like, this is Critter, this is the design, draw her so I can see how it plays out, that kind of stuff. And so that's where it started. And then once we got a few people, those people were often connected to other people or studios that had other people. So like when we did the Oz book in our second year, JB Neto, who does the Penny for Your Soul art, he was part of this studio down in Brazil. So the first thing that I did was I went and messaged Alzir, who runs the studio, and I was like, I need guys for this Oz book. I need them right now because we are revving this up, and I want this released by the end of the year. And so he just sent me a bunch of his guys. Here's this guy, this guy, this guy. And as soon as I saw Allison Borges, I was like, that's the guy. That's 100% what I want. And so he did like 15 issues of Oz for us. No, like 20 issues of Oz for us. And then it just became this spiral, you know, and then because it's like 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, that whole game, right? As soon as you're connected to somebody, that guy knows somebody else, and that guy knows somebody else, and that guy knows somebody else. And so it just starts to kind of, you know,
yes,
it just picks up steam, and you get this guy and you get this guy.
Yes.
On occasion, I would just reach out to people. Like when we had Joe Jusko do our Penny for Your Soul variant cover, no, there would be no reason for him to, you know, listen to me, but he did. I was like, Joe Jusko, man, I love your work. I love your, you know, for those that are not knowing the name, he did the original Marvel Masterpiece card series back in the 90s. He's been around forever.
Yeah.
He's an amazing painting artist. I was
Legend.
like, I would like to have somebody awesome to do our Penny for Your Soul trade paperback cover. He was like, whoa, that's really cool. Let me see what it is. And blah, blah, blah. So I got him to do it just because I asked. And, you know, over time I got to work with Ryan Otley and
that's crazy.
J. Scott Campbell and God, who else? Nia Ruffino, of course, came through all of this, and she's become a regular for us all the way through. Joe Chiodo. This is Joe Chiodo. This is a real Joe Chiodo painting from you know, he was an artist back in the 90s and working for Top Cow and Marvel and stuff. And I reached out to him just on Facebook. I just sent him a Facebook message. I was like, you didn't do something? And he was like, well, what do you want? And I was like, well, we have this thing. And he was like, oh, that's great. I'll do that. And so, you know, now I have Joe Chiodo on my wall. Like, it's crazy what you can do by just sort of reaching out to some people. And you're going to get a lot of no's, or you're going to get ignored a lot too.
Yes.
But every now and then you're going to have somebody that goes, oh, awesome. I just got for those, I don't know if everybody in here knows what Sunstone is, but Stefan Sejic, who does Sunstone, and he's been doing Top Cow stuff forever, he just did a cover for us.
Really?
So that's a giant bucket list, you know, marked off of my list.
Holy shit, dude. That's
crazy. Yeah, it is crazy. And as you go through your career and you start to get some of those names attached to your work, the next time you go to somebody, you can say, hey, you know what? Ryan Otley did a cover for us, and Steppen did a cover for us.
Yes.
J. Scott Campbell did a cover for us. So I'm not valuable. I'm vetted, right? Because these guys did the work, right?
Yeah.
They did the work, they got paid. And now you're reaching out to somebody, another big name. They can be like, oh, really? Like, that's cool that Otley did that for you. And I'm like, yeah, we'd love to have you, and so on. So, while we've discovered a lot of people, Natalie Sanders came to us. We worked with her. She's now huge in variant covers for DC. Shannon Mayer started with us. Now he's huge in covers for everybody. We found a lot of our own people. Jen Broomall was a foundational find for us in what we did, and she's gone on and done stuff for like G.I. Joe and all kinds of things. So it's a snowball, right? It just keeps growing and growing and growing and growing. And as long as you, as a creator, as a publisher, pay the bills, these guys will be happy to come around and come back.
Yeah. They these artists, they talk, so
Sure,
they're like,
of course.
this guy, I like to work with this guy. He pays on time.
Yeah.
So yes, so this and slowly your network grows, man.
Yeah. We had Joe Benitez, who does Lady Mechanica. He did an Oz piece for us. It's been crazy. I mean, it's truly been crazy. There's J. Scott Campbell on the cover.
There
for
you go,
sure.
man. Holy shit, dude.
So it's been a crazy for us now. This has been 16 years in 2026.
Yeah.
It has been a crazy series of just roller coasters everywhere. But right now, like I said earlier, my mom passed last year. Everything basically shut down for me. I was struggling to do anything creatively and do any writing or anything. But I kind of got back in the vibe of it towards the end of the year, and I'm back in it this year. We're getting back ahead on scripts, back ahead on art, so that things are going to get fulfilled a little faster than what was happening last year when I was struggling. But it's Big Dog Inc. is basically me. I'm the one that writes all the stuff. I build this website. I build all the Kickstarters. I ship all the books. I don't draw it, obviously, but everything from the business sense of this is all me. I don't have a team of people doing all this with me. So
I recognize that. Obviously you work with teams, with a lot of people. Together you make these books, but if you quit, this ends, right? The same with me, with Jamie Comics. A lot of people that I work with, but I'm Jamie Comics basically. So if I decide I'm no longer feeling it, then it ends.
It ends. That's correct. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
This all phenomenal work, man.
That's
all
Justin
fantastic.
Hunt. Yeah.
Darius Artist says, I need to order Fine Print Volume 3 soon.
Everything that we have on the website should be available. Every now and then somebody orders something older that we ended up selling out like at a con or something. But I would say 98% of the time, if you see it on the website and it's available, it shows that it's available. We've got it here for you.
Do you reprint everything that's sold out, or at some point it
no.
Nothing
gets reprinted. If it sells out, we go to our trade paperbacks.
Sure.
We keep those in print, obviously. But in fact, this is what's coming next is we have our Legend of Oz Omnibus.
Oh, look at that. That's amazing.
Giant honking 512-page book.
Love the layout also, the graphic design around it.
Yeah, this is Nia Rufino. She did the art. Logo and all the little stuff was done by Rob Duenas for us, so we've been using that for all this time. But this is on the boat right now, coming to us. So we'll have these in I'm hoping about a month, and then all the Kickstarter people will get theirs, and then we'll have these available for
So this is like a proof copy you have right now.
Yes, that was a proof copy. Yeah, that was the
Yes.
final proof that they sent to me. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fantastic, man. You've been busy. You have quite the career, still doing things. It's and you constantly have ideas, right? So how do you?
Yeah, that's the problem.
This is my problem also. So how do you decide which, apart from testing it with the prints you did, right, for your zombie series, but how do you decide which ideas are worth investing in?
I think all of them are, but I think each one needs to simmer for a minute to figure out what it is, because really the only book that I did that didn't have like a direct "this is what we're doing" was Princesses versus Zombies. That was such a lightning in a bottle concept that I just threw it out. I was like, this is what it's princesses and they're fighting zombies. That's what it is. And then over time it became more. But everything else that we've done has been done for a reason. Like we understand what it is before we go in. And sometimes that's just like, okay, let's I have this idea, I have this nugget of a thought process. Let me sit on it for a few months and add some layers to it and take some notes and figure out what it's really going to be. That's usually what happens. And so that's where a lot of things kind of pop in, just like, okay, it's time to do this now. Okay, it's time to do this now. But most of the time we sit on it for a while until it's got enough legs.
Yes, man, it's really cool to see indie creator being successful like this. It's really tough, It's really I browsed Kickstarter today, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in the comic section, it said it had over 35,000 campaigns, and I'm like, this is what you're. There's so much out there. How do people find you? So this always tricky.
Well, that's always the question, right? Is you have to build your audience. It's
yes.
you have to get out to cons. You have to do shows like this. You have to be sort of in the bubble of awareness as much as you possibly can, which isn't easy. I mean, it seems like it's easy because, hey, we just turn the camera on and we just start talking, but that doesn't mean that people are watching necessarily.
Yes.
Thank you for everybody that's been in here and asking questions and stuff. I appreciate it. But that's what it is. It's just, you have to create awareness for yourself. And then once you have some aspect of awareness, then you can drop something on Kickstarter or wherever you do your crowdfunding, and hopefully drag those people over and say, well, this is where I sell my book. So come over here and get it. Whether it's you're dragging them to the website, dragging them to crowdfunding, telling people you're going to be at a con. We're going to be at San Diego for the first time in like 10 years. I hadn't even thought about it, but it's like been 10 years since I've been there. I'll be at the Antarctic Press booth hanging out with them. I got invited by them to come be a part of the booth. So that'll be super fun because I haven't been there in so long.
That's awesome. One sec. Yes. Okay. Wow. That's phenomenal. Fantastic story. Love to hear it. So your current project, what will be your next campaign? What's
on
next?
On this coming Friday, May 22nd is International Goth Day. And we've turned Goth Day into sort of our thing.
Yeah.
And of course, over the years, as we've done it, people have stepped on it themselves, but we were first. So Goth Day issue 4, which is the final issue, by the way. We are doing the final issue of Goth Day. We won't do another. This will be the end of this series. But Goth Day, each issue is sort of its own individual story anyway. There's a tiny thread of sort of continuity that goes through it all, but really each one is sort of its own examination of something specific to its issue. So even if you were to like just buy issue 3 just at random, it's its own self-contained story. You'll know what's going on. So even with issue 4, if you just buy issue 4, you will have no problems. There's no need for you to read anything else. But we will have all 4 issues available. Basically, what we did is we took, because all of our issues, we're not like Marvel where like princesses like hang out with Critter, like that doesn't happen. So what we did is we created this goth world where we could sort of put everybody in the same sandbox, but in their goth alternatives. So like with Critter, this is Critter, right, in her superhero costume.
Look at that. That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Wow.
We did a few years ago. So that's Critter. And then Catnip is her goth alternative. So she's got like this sort of black leather kind of outfit and a little bit of a redesign, but she's sort of the goth version of Critter. So everything that's in Goth Day is sort of an alternative version of what we've seen in all these other universes. So it's been really fun to write, and it really takes me out of the norm of these like long form stories that I've been telling. It's like it lets me focus on. We're going to focus on, okay, what does creativity mean here? What does expectation and conformity mean here? What is et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so they were really interesting to be able to kind of do deep dives into these themes, like we talked about. It was like a heavy deep dive into this theme and this methodology of storytelling, which was different from some of the other stuff that I did. So it's been really fun to do. We're only wrapping it up from the Goth Day standpoint, just because I think that we've built the world that we need now for this to exist. And then there are plans to come back into that world in a different sense, a different sort of angle. So there will be more of the Goth world. It just won't be Goth Day anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Interesting. Trish says, thanks to all of Tom's advice, we made a successful comic and plans to continue when my health is better. Oh,
great.
Tom is a river of knowledge. Thanks to all you do, inspiring and leading the indie comic revolution. There you go, man.
Thank you, Trish. Yeah, they put out their own book a few years ago.
What's it called? Do you know?
Tag and Brink. Tell me if I'm wrong, Trish. Post the name of it. Tag and Brink. I think it's called Tag and Brink.
Brink. Well, I have to get it. Of course.
Yeah, but post the name in there, Trish or Mike. I know Mike's watching too. But yeah, they did a first issue, and they did a great job. They had a successful Kickstarter with it. They had some cool artists that they worked with. So yeah, it's always fun to watch the folks that are sort of listening and watching these shows, and then all of a sudden, like, oh yeah, we did a comic too, and I'm like, yo, there was a time at C2E2, I left the booth. I was wandering. What was I doing? Oh, I was going to go see the Godzilla statue. There was a big Godzilla statue that somebody had on the other side of the thing. So I was wandering around. I was going to go see the Godzilla statue. And as I was wandering through the crowd, somebody taps me on the shoulder. And they're like, Tom. And I turn around, and I don't know who this guy is. And and I'm like, yeah, what's up? He's like, you're Tom from Big Dog Inc., right? I'm like, Brink and Fetch. There we go. He's like, you're Tom from Big Dog Inc.? I'm like, yeah. He's like, dude, I'm here. This is my first ever Comic-Con, and I used to listen to you on these shows, on these live shows, and I listened to what you did and how you did this and that. And now I'm at my first show and showing my first book and blah blah blah. And I was like, dude, that's fantastic. And but honestly, I had no idea who he was, so I felt kind of bad. But I was like, that's incredible that somebody just in the sea of people is like, oh my God, that's Tom over there. And I know him from these shows. Like, that's such a wild thing. But yeah, I've always tried to be the guy that helps if you have some sort of question. I mean, I can only talk through my experience, which is not necessarily what everybody's experience is going to be. But I can tell you through what I've done and what I've been through and how I've done my own publishing, how I've gone to different publishers and they've done my stuff, and how I've done crowdfunding now. Like, I've been through all of this. So I try and, at least allow that information that I have to go wherever it needs to go. If people have questions or thoughts or concerns or whatever, like, am I doing this right? Am I doing this wrong? I can at least try and help in some way that I can. And I've always done that from the very beginning of when I did this. It was so weird that when we did our early cons, like, we're like a year or two in and we're doing cons, and people are coming to my booth like we've accomplished something. They're like, oh my God, I got to get where you are. And I'm like, yo, dude, all we did was pay for a table. Like, this is not, we're not invited. We're like, this is really low level stuff, what we're talking about. But the people on the other side of the table that are looking at you on the inside of the table, they see that you've done something somewhere, somehow.
Well, you have to recognize that compared to other indie creators, you are very you produce a lot of books, you have a high frequency volume,
Mhm.
right? You have some sort of business sense, right?
Mhm.
So whatever choice you make, it pays off, right? So you're here because you wanted to be where you are today, right?
Right.
This
right,
is
right.
so you are where many other creators inspire to be, right?
Well,
So
I mean, it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
And all I can say, I know we kind of are at the end here. All I can really say is right now, it's all about consistency. And that doesn't mean putting books out consistently. That means you consistently doing whatever your job is, writing or drawing or coloring or whatever. Just keep doing it. And over time, whatever walls you're running into, they'll start to crack and you'll be able to move through it and get into whatever the next sort of segment is. But
Mhm.
like you said, as soon as you stop, it all stops.
Yes.
And then even if you come back to it, you're now so far back from where you could have been. So do something every day and just kind of be consistent in your whatever your production is, and then that'll lead to better things.
Yes. I gotta say, it's also a little bit scary. There are times that I'm thinking, why am I still doing this?
Sure, yeah, of course.
And then, but quitting is like giving so much up, all this time, all this investment, everything, right? So you gotta keep going at some point, right? Anyway, Tom, thank you, man. Thank you for the conversation. It was
My
really
pleasure,
fascinating.
man. I love a good talk. This was great.
All right, guys, before we close off this show, I have something of my own to share, right? So, there's no quitting creation, says Pops. That's right, Pops. All right, so I have my own thing going on. It's in the pre-launch right now. We had this on Fund My Comic a little while back. That was successful. That closed, but the campaign is now moving over to Kickstarter. Safeguard Pandemonium. This is my first superhero team book, right? And it's kind of, if you read this series, the Perfect 10 series, you know these characters. They form together, right? And this is a book that I'm making together with Alan Goldman. And I'm so proud. We are in pre-launch stage right now, so I'm still building the campaign, right? I want to launch hopefully the end of this month. That will be awesome. I have some images here right now. So we have a few covers. This is the cover by Alan Goldman. Well, it doesn't need any words, man. This is phenomenal. And then Paul Rodriguez, the artist of the Perfect 10 series, the award-winning series, by the way, guys. Paul Rodriguez made cover B. Usually he does cover A because he's the main artist. This time he isn't, so I had to bring him on for cover B, right? Love it. And we have the back cover, also by Pau, with all the villains of this book. I created brand new villains for this particular story. I'm really proud of this. And we have a brand new cover, which will be a wraparound cover, this one right here. So for this campaign. So you can get on that. Please like, subscribe, but get notified or whatever it is called, right? And share it out, guys, so other people can see it also. And I am promoting this right now because this is from Seth Engelhardt, but the Crossbones crew is a script that I wrote. So Seth hired me to write the story, to write the script. It is in production right now. It is a cover by Josh Howard, guys, and I got to work with some classic characters, as you see, which was really awesome. And Joel Souza is doing the interior art. It looks great. I'm really proud of the story. I'm really proud that I was brought on to help with this book, and I hope it'll be successful, so I can get hired for more issues. So help make it work, guys. It looks great, as you can see. It's quality stuff, and it was really challenging for me. It was outside of my usual wheelhouse, which made it awesome. It made it challenging. I had to do a lot of research, right? But I'm really proud of the results. So this is on Fund My Comic. Let me put it in the chat, guys, so you can see it and you can hopefully back it or share it out. That will be awesome. All right, stop sharing. Stop sharing.
You got great artists, dude. Goldman. I love every time you post stuff by Goldman. I'm like, God damn.
Yeah. I can't believe it either. Other people told me, how did you get Goldman? He always says no to me. But this is what you say when you get a little bit known, more doors open up, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So that's part of it, I think.
It's great. And Joel Souza is great too.
Yeah. Oh, Joel Souza is fantastic. I was really surprised when Seth told me he had hired Joel Souza for the interior art. I was like, really? I basically knew him from the ladies that he drew, right?
Sure.
But he kicks ass, man.
Yes.
On his art.
Yes, he does.
All right, Tom. Thanks again for being my guest for today. It was wonderful, and good luck, man, with your career and with your Hollywood thing and whatever you're going to work on. I hope everything will be a huge success.
I'll make sure you're on the red carpet when we debut the film.
I'll be there, man. I'll be there. All right. And special thanks to the chat for everyone showing up today during the live stream. Thank you so much. Thank you for commenting, for the questions, for liking. So if you like this conversation, give it a like. And if you didn't like the conversation, give it a dislike. And I'm very sorry about that. Trish says, thanks, guys. Yes, you're very welcome. All right, guys, I'll be back next week. So same channels, same time with my guest Pops. Pops will be my guest for next week. So hope to see you guys then. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and till next time. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.